Well, here we are again. Sandy McVeigh, West Vault Mining. I'm Tom Calandra, the Calandra Report. And Sandy, I'm just back from the Yukon, Alaska, and Nevada. Well, 2 weeks, sun, rain, desert, mountains, helicopters, all that kind of stuff. And your company came up a few times, and they all know that I'm a long-term shareholder. Uh, Tell me, one, what's going on? Two, I know we both have a few thoughts about West Vault mining that might surprise investors. And three, how is Bianca doing? Bianca Hayes.
Our good friend, young Bianca, is doing very, very well, fully recovered from the motorcycle crash that ended at the 11th hour, her epic attempt to set the world record for riding across Canada, some 6,000 kilometers. Just one day out of Halifax, she got knocked over by a motorcycle, but I'm glad to say that she is fully recovered. But not only that, she is more committed to raising money for ovarian cancer research than ever. So she's finishing off the video. She had a video crew with her, so they've got tons of raw footage. They're putting together a short video of that attempt, and we're going to be rolling that out at various places, maybe at PDAC. Certainly, we'll do, here in town in Vancouver, the gala dinner when we do the roundup and so on. So that the fight goes on. Sorry that she's not here with you. I'm going to get her on one of these calls together.
Well, no,
The three of us can be on.
absolutely. And I was just in Vancouver yesterday on my way back from Whitehorse in the Yukon, and then back home to San Francisco here. But I always, Sandy, thought it was a beautiful piece of serendipity that that when we resurrected the West Vault mining discussion, here all of a sudden Sandy's involved with Bianca Hayes, and I'm an investor in a company in Halifax that is pursuing ovarian cancer, and in terms of its immunotherapy and its special treatment, and it's been putting out data. We'll have data again in 2 weeks, I think, mid-September, at a big European conference, and that I think will be a partner for a big pharma.
Now
But
that,
and then all of a sudden you're just tying with Walt mining, ovarian cancer, uh, Halifax, and also at this very same point at there I was at on a tour in Tonopah, and I've been to West Vault Mining's properties at Hasbrook twice already, and I was on a non-West Vault Mining tour, but both properties of the two silver explorers there on either side of Tonopah, right there in the middle of Nevada, halfway between Vegas and Reno, is Hasbrook. And I said, oh, gee, everything's aligning itself. So, and finally, not to hog the stage here, and the thing, you know, against the backdrop of this reciprocal gold theory that your chairman and largest shareholder, 46% or something, Peter Palmetto of Sun Valley Gold Fund, espouses, is that gold at some point will begin to reciprocate this. In other words, you have this huge rise over the past 20 years in blue chips and in just non-resource stocks. And as we see those come down, and people get rid of get tired of the volatility, including yesterday when the Dow was down 1,000 points and the TSX and everything else, that they will come into something that is steady, that keeps them on par, or even better, helps them cope with life, with inflation, and is only about 1 million times better than Bitcoin.
couldn't have put it better myself. Thanks, Tom.
Tell me, give us the stats here on Hasbrook.
I will do that very briefly. Just finishing off quickly with Bianca Hayes. Bianca is sponsored by many people, yourself, IMV, your company there in Halifax doing the ovarian therapeutics, but OMG, a little OMG group, standing for Ovarian Mining Group, and Barry Smee, Peter Bradshaw, a number of others get behind people like Bianca in the mining business here. So that's what that's about. It's not just me.
Yeah. In fact, I was just with obviously at the Eagle Gold Mine up in,
John,
the
John
flood
McConnell
losses.
and
Yeah, John McConnell and his wife Tara Christie,
Sarah.
who operate Victoria Gold and Banyan Gold, and they were big, big contributors to Bianca's effort. And I find that when Sandy, when you and I and Peter Bradshaw and a couple of others pitched the idea of ovarian cancer and how devastating it is to women. I mean, the mortality rate is huge, and it's not an easy way to die either. Let's be frank.
No.
That people say, gee, you know what? This is something that catches my attention, especially a young woman whose even younger sister dies of it, which is atypical of ovarian cancer.
It's normally older women. There are no survivor stories. You get diagnosed, you're at stage 4. You don't live very long. There are no Angelina Jolies to get on the stage and say, let me tell you about my mastectomy or whatever. So we're doing what we can. John McConnell, Tara, super supportive, and we are going to get everything that we can to do this. In mining, it's also a little bit of a balance. Donald did so much work for pushing prostate testing in mining. Donald McInnes, over 10 years, just a tremendous effort. But there are women in mining as well as men. So let's have a bit of a balance here was our thinking. So that's why we do it, for one of many reasons. Beautiful. So anyone who's interested, Bianca Hayes, HAYES.com, just go on her website and have a look. Wonderful, wonderful cancer warrior and a great person.
And bicyclist.
So back to business. Hasbrook Gold Project. Westvault Mining owns this single project. It's in Nevada, best jurisdiction in the world by all counts. It's a medium-sized project with million-ounce resource. It's got about just short of 600,000 recoverable gold ounces, 8-year life of mine, 70,000 ounces per year. The economics are very robust, 65% IRR at $1,500 gold. It's got an NPV5 of 200 million US, also at $1,500 gold. These are after-tax numbers, of course. Very low initial capital, less than 50 million US to get in and going. So there's a good ratio between the initial capital and the NPV. All-in sustaining costs around about $700. It's a cheap one to run. Well studied, the tons of boreholes, over 600 boreholes, 13 met test programs, de-risked. And the status of it is ready to build, permitted, all key permits in hand. So we're beyond study stage. The last few years, we've taken it right through to construction plan, a well-developed construction plan and schedule and costing. So literally, anyone who has this project could start building it tomorrow, about 12 months to first pour of gold. So that's the Hasbrook Gold Project, and that's great. It is very interesting. It's a unique project in that I think there's only one other in the U.S. Southwest Great Basin area which is at that level of development and of that size and robustness, and that's Mount Hamilton. I think it's owned by Waterton. So there's just these two mines which are there ready to go. It is unique, but that's not the real story. The real story is the fact that we're owned by 72%, a combination of gold funds, 46%, the major one, which is Sun Valley Gold, my boss, Peter Palmetto. He is very keen on executing a strategy, using our project as the vehicle to make money for shareholders. Not buying this project effectively at 46%, he calls the shots. It's not buying it to, say, hey, we can build a mine, we can go drilling. This is to make money for shareholders in a very safe, strategically thought out way based on what you were talking about before, which is the reciprocal theory.
Without spending money.
Without spending money. We have 5 million US in the kitty. We have a cost of holding the land and G&A. I'm the only full-time employee of 1 million US a year. So we've got a runway ahead, no dilution, no raises for 5 years. And we're not going to change that strategy. We are not going to suddenly one day say, we changed our mind, we're going to build it. We need to raise a whole bunch of money or whatever.
Right. So, and it's a vault in the ground, obviously, Westvault Mining.
Yes.
But a few of the other things that make you atypical. And by the way, folks, we've been talking about this, Sandy and I, for years. But crystallizing our thoughts is is something that Sandy has perfected. What makes you atypical? And I'll tell you, one thing is this is a company that says, look, don't invest in us if you're not going to be long term. Don't invest in us if you're looking for a Bitcoin that might be something comparable to the gold market. Bitcoin, as I was just watching the economist David Kelly say, Bitcoin is speculative fluff. There is no doubt in my mind. Okay, I know that's going to set me up for some nasty notes from folks, but the technology behind it, sure. Blockchain, a simultaneous, peer-to-peer distribution. There are a million uses for the blockchain, but speculating in garbage like Bitcoin and the thousands of other cryptocurrencies, that's absurd. Having something that's in the ground, that's permit ready, that's had all this money put into it already, that's backed by two funds, Ruffer, is it Ruffer? I think it is, and Sun Valley, gives you a backdoor into some gold funds. Very strong belief that here's something which you're going to own as an individual shareholder. You're not doing a private placement to give them money. You're buying the stock. And why are you buying the stock? Because one day, as gold really shines and people get totally disgusted with blue chips and with Bitcoin and with the volatility in bond markets and currency markets, you're gonna make 4 to 5 times your money. You're still gonna make money if you just buy gold. I mean, $1,700 gold today or $1,750. Yeah, it's definitely going to be $2,500 and $3,000 gold in our lifetimes. And I think even in our, how can I say this, our month times, as in soon, you'll definitely make money. But having that leverage so that when somebody finally comes and says, gee, look at that gold in the ground at Westfold. They're not spending a dime on it now. It's there. You can just walk in and start developing it. That's a 4 to 5x on market cap. So what did I miss, Sandy?
Just for the sake of you didn't miss much. That was great. Thank you. Just for the sake of completeness, Ruffer out of UK, definitely Sun Valley Gold at 46%, but also Conwave AG, Gold 2000, Sprott, Rick Rule is a personal investor in us. Dave Lotan, we have a number of other significant fund type people in the company, totaling 72% institutionally held. When I became CEO by default last year, and by the way, this is all a little bit new to me. I'm a mining engineer and I'm a good COO, I think. So we're doing what we can here, but I contacted personally every single shareholder, certainly all the major ones that I could get. The first thing that I did, and I said, tell us, what did you invest in this for? And we did a focus group of retail investors. We got 15 retail investors, and we quizzed them and said, tell us what you got into this for. What do you want us to do? It's being an engineer. I'm sorry. That's what we do. We analyze before we go into action. That told us that we were giving mixed messages. We were saying we've got tremendous optionality. We could build, we could drill and explore, we could sell, we could do anything. This is a great buy. And of course, people being people, they hear the last thing. The last thing they hear is the one they want to hear. So when we didn't explore, the people who explored got disappointed and dumped their holding, which chilled the price down all the time. So we looked at that and said, look, we need to clean the message up. This is not speculation. This is not for the wilder spirits, if you like. God bless them. The mining industry certainly needs them, but not for this. So we've encouraged them as graciously as we know how. Don't invest in Junior Explo Co XYZ. They're your thing. And we've tried to reach out to people who want a longer, steadier, more certain, less risky gold investment. And I think largely we've been able to do that in that we've kind of disconnected our share price to the GDXJ. Less volatile, seem to be going up a little bit better. When they go down, we don't go down, and so on. So over a year, I think that's beginning to work.
Sandy, you know how we could wrap this up is just give me the idea of a comparable in terms of gold in the ground versus, you don't have to name names, but I know all the names anyway, but companies that are comparables and what their trading at least their equities.
So, not anything current, but just the philosophy of letting the gold cycle do the lifting. Buy low, sell high. Ross Beatty got the nickname of the one-arm band, broken slot machine when he did Lumina Copper. Bought low, sold high. He bought tons of copper properties. He did it on purpose. He said copper is, I forget what it was, 30 or 60 cents a pound or whatever. And he said, this is a no-brainer. But it was going against the market. What he did, people just, they said, what are you doing? Copper's useless. It's 30 cents. Nobody invests in it. And he said, no, this is the right time to do it. First Mining did the same thing. So we're not doing actually anything tremendously new here. We're doing something that's just different compared to the average junior gold miner in the world.
And your out in the ground cost is a lot lower than many companies, which will equate into 3x, 4x, 5x as the gold price continues to rise. There's no doubt on that. Well, it's nice to know I'm not going to get hit up with any notice about new warrants, new options, a new raise, and so on. You are, in a sense, entirely self-financed, just like a few of the other companies that I invest in. And I like that. I like not being diluted and screwed by the companies that I support or give money to. So congratulations, Sandy, for continuing to remain my friend.
Thanks. I don't know if I have an option on that, Tom. We go back a ways.
Optionality. Yeah, good optionality.
There you go. Thanks once again. Let's we'll sign off and talk again soon, I hope, Tom.
We will. Thank you, Sandy. Westfault Mining.
Bye-bye.
Bye.